Yes, hello everybody, and I am delighted to say the MG Cup is back for 2023. Now, we couldn't possibly have a pre-season show without the man behind it all. It is, of course, Peter Burchill's with us. Peter, how are you? It's very good to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to be here, and thanks for organising this, Ian. It's I can't believe Saturday and it all starts. So yeah, gentlemen and ladies, start your engines, as I say.
I love that. Do start your engines, these. Some of the best news as well, actually, to come out of the winter and sort of back end of last season, really, is that, Peter, you are going to be back on track as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought after suffering a stroke in January that I'd be back out there this year. But yeah, I've just taken a year to recover. Got my road license back, and then put in for medical for the to see if they give me a racing license again. And yeah, that was the best thing to happen at Autosport. So then it was get some practice in, do some track days, and yeah, I'll be on the grid. I'm not expecting to set the world alight, but I'll give it some. That's as far as I'm prepared to say.
Listen, you're there, Peter. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That really is all that matters. So, right, just everybody tuning in as well. Just a quick reminder: we are live right now as well. So please do get in touch with us as well. The live chat is open at Live Sport now on YouTube. If you do want to have your say, if you want to say hello to us, please do comment below. We can see it. And if you do it at Live Sport now on YouTube, there is a link in the body of this broadcast. We can show it on screen as well, but only if you keep it clean. It is before 9 o'clock. So please do get in touch. And at any point as well, if you do want to find out more about the Cherished Vehicle Insurance MG Cup, there is a link in the body of this broadcast. It will take you straight through to the website. Or if you're feeling ultra modern, look at that. There is a QR code on your screen. Get your phone out right now, give it a scan, pop, 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 and it will take you straight through to the MG Cup website. Right, Peter, let's just touch on the MG Cup for you. There's multiple classes, isn't there? For those people tuning in who have never really come into contact with the MG Cup, first of all, where have you been? But second of all, can you just give a rundown of how it all works, Peter? Can you explain the classes to us?
Yeah, definitely. We've got very simple rules. We've got one make regulations in three classes. So Class A is road going. So the cars literally, the most popular cars are an MGF and an MG ZR 160. And we've had Maestros and Montegos and of late Rover 216 GTIs. And there's two that are registered, or one registered and one going to be registered with the championship, and hopefully they'll be making an appearance at the end of the season. So that's Class A, and they're all quick race cars, especially in the wet. They're actually demons then.
So you're saying you want rain this weekend?
Is that yeah. And then in Class B, it's really dominated by MG ZR 170s, and we've got 13 or so in Class B of ZRs, and it's a very popular car. There's plenty of them changing hands, and you find they're really popular. We also have some drivers using MG ZSs, a 180, and for parity, we peg the amount of modifications to them, and they carry a bit more weight. Right. And the ZR's a bit lighter, and yeah, it sets for some good battles. We also in the regs have MG3s. We had one race with us, but unfortunately everybody seems to want to put a 190k series in, and our regulations are that it actually has the engine. So and then Class C is the full race class, and that has three main cars in it: ZR 190s, MG ZS 180s, and Rover Tomcat turbos. And for Class C, they're the car to beat. But yeah, we give good battle. And for this year, for the first time, we're on a one make tyre, so everybody is to run Toyo tyres. And we as a collective, the drivers voted for it last year, and it's a cost saving exercise as well as a great leveler, because it's unfair if one driver buys a very expensive tire and other drivers don't. So we try just to get rid of that problem. But it's all to play for, and it will make for some interesting racing. And we've got a period of people using last year's tyres up, but at Silverstone on the Grand Prix circuit, it's the first time that everybody will be on the same tyre, and I'm looking forward to hopefully stretching the legs of the ZS and see what we can do.
It is going to be a cracker, isn't it? And like you said, it almost sort of levels the playing field a little bit. It is club racing, isn't it, Peter? So it is about trying to keep costs down,
absolutely,
whilst also giving everybody the best experience possible.
Yeah, that's what we're all about. And it's lovely that people come along and they're very talented, and we've had drivers that have gone on to bigger and better things, and that's not a problem. But a lot of our drivers do this for the fun of it, and we know this year for everybody it's tight. You only got to watch the news, and there's doom and gloom all over the place. But we've tried to get a level playing field on performance, a level playing field on mods, level playing field on tires, and try to put a good calendar out there. And I'm pleased. We've got 35 registered drivers. We've got 20 out at brands. We've got several cars still in build, but it's good, and hopefully we can put on a good show for the crowd. That's important. It's really good that again we're using you and getting the streaming service, and you'll be wandering in the paddock, and that's good.
Yeah, I certainly will. And you mentioned about watching the news. It's all doom and gloom. Well, I've got a bit of advice for everybody. This Saturday and Sunday, don't bother watching the news. Tune in to watch the MG Cup instead. It is live from Brands Hatch at Live Sport Now on YouTube. If you are there right now, do hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss it. If you haven't already, please do. Just a note, it is at the MG Cup on social media as well. So it will be on the MG Cup Facebook page too, across the MG Car Club channels as well. But to guarantee that we pick up comments, YouTube is probably the best place. And touching on comments, a couple of people have been in contact with us, Peter, already. Craig, he says, howdy all. Is that Craig Baston? I wonder if is that Craig Baston?
I presume so.
Craig, if that is you, Craig Baston, or whoever you are, Craig, just let us know. If it is, great to see you. Ashley Woodward's got in touch as well, just says, hi guys, hello. Ashley, looking forward to seeing you at the weekend, no doubt. Now, one thing you mentioned there, Peter, as well, is the race dates for 2023. So let's take a little look and talk us through where we're going around the country in 2023, Peter.
Okay, well, we're obviously first up, we've got Brands Hatch, which is some of the drivers' favourite circuit. For me, I live near
Not
Manchester.
You said. You said off camera. It's not my least favourite.
It's miles away, but it'd be good fun. Then we go to Cheshire's finest circuit, Alton Park, on the 13th of May, and that's that's always been a favourite of mine. It's a proper circuit, undulates, and some interesting corners, and hopefully that one won't be wet, but you never know with a May date. The big one is Silverstone Grand Prix. MG and Triumph 100 years being celebrated, so there's full weekends of activities, and more importantly, some good racing. And the Grand Prix circuit's all about the start, really, and then it just keeping your toe down and keeping somebody behind you and chasing the guy in front. So we're looking forward to that. Cadwell Park, well, it's such a must. It's tight, it's tricky, but it is just superb. Unfortunately, I'm actually on holiday for that one, but my family haven't been away for a few years due to COVID and stuff. So
they deserve a break, eh? They deserve.
So I'm a bit gutted because I really enjoy Cadwell, but I'll be watching it on the streaming. And then end of year, Stetson, the 300 circuit, really good. And the thing for us, it's homecoming, because this year is our 35th year.
Yeah.
And there are not really a lot of race series that have lasted that long.
No.
You know, all these series that get launched and do 2-3 years and then die a death. You know, we're trying to find some 6R4 drivers with race licenses, because the first grid of our championship was made up of BC or MGB V8s, MGBs, midgets, and 6R4s.
Blimey! Wow.
And four 6R4s took the grid, and they won the race. But they passed the laurels and the trophies on to everybody else. But it was just a really, you know, we started racing in in Stetton, so it's a bit of a homecoming. So we're organising a social for that. So they're going to probably do a hog roast and lots of beer.
I've experienced one or two of these MG
we did
gatherings, shall we? And I usually have a thick head the next day.
and that's what we try and do. You know, some people stay at hotels, some people stay at the venue, but we can put something on, and normally food is a really good option. All the drivers appreciate it, and you know, others from other series, you can come and join us. We don't mind, but it's just putting something back, isn't it? And that's what we can't forget. And I always try to remember, I'm doing this because I love it. So you know, but everybody else does it because they love it also. And it's about the racing, but what really sets us apart, the camaraderie we have with our drivers. And we, you know, Chris, for instance, this weekend, he's helping out, and he's doing almost the coordinator's duties and making sure everybody's there on time. And it's really good to see some volunteers. We've got Kelly Tuger, who raced with us last year in the Tomcat Turbo. She's coming down to the event as well, and she'll be taking pictures and stuff. And what we try to do is stay in contact with former drivers, because they're always welcome, and you never know if in a year's time or 2 years' time they come racing, and that's what it's about, you know, just to make it entertaining.
Absolutely, very well said, Peter. A little bit of confirmation, actually. Craig watching, it is of course Craig based, and Ashley Woodward does go on to say, is there any other? No, there's only one Craig Mason, I can assure you that. Craig, he's such a nice bloke, is Craig, by the way. And I'm always so happy because I felt like the first few rounds, whenever he was there and I was there, the car was always parked up in the garage. He had rotten luck, didn't they, for such a long time. But now they're starting to finish, and there's always got a smile on the face, the Bastons. And when you talk about camaraderie, yeah, boy, oh boy, do you guys make us feel welcome as well, even though, you know, we don't race, but, you know, we're there to broadcast it, and everybody's so open, so happy to talk to us. Don't forget as well, talking of being happy to talk to us, do comment below. Tell us your experience of the MG Cup as well. Have you raced in it? Have you watched it? Do you just like to tune in and just see the cars going around? Coming up in this show as well, we're going to have a little look at some of the cars that are going to take into the track in 2023 in the Cherished Vehicle Insurance AMG Cup. And I'll tell you something, there's a couple of crackers in there, Peter. I showed you a snippet of a few of them, didn't we? And boy, oh boy, that is going to be good. Let's just look back, touch back on 2022 very quickly, shall we, Peter? Overall champion was this man, Richard Buckley.
Yeah, and you know, he drove an absolute blinder all season, and it has an advantage. He's you know, he has been racing that car for some years, but yeah, Richard's having a year off. I will try and persuade him to come out at Silverstone.
He'll come out. Richard will come out. I know he will.
But he's spannering for a Ferrari team, and but he was a well-deserved champion. So congratulations, Rich.
It was a fantastic season. If you do want to watch any of last season's coverage back, you can. MG Cup on Facebook, it's all there. Last Spot Now on YouTube, it's all there. So all the footage that we record throughout the course of this season and the last, I mean, we've been with it a few years now, haven't we, Peter?
Yeah.
It's all there. It stays there forever, so you can go back and watch it at your leisure. Now, I did promise we were going to show you some of the cars that are going to be taking the grid throughout the course of the year. We're going to start with a special one, actually, a guest coming up, somebody I know quite well as well, Mr. Bramble.
Yeah, and Peter's great fun, and he's come out of brand many a time, and I'm sure he'll come out again this year. But yeah, he waves the flag for the MGB, and it's terrifying when he goes past you, because you think it's not going to stop. No, he got around the corner, and you don't know how sometimes, but it's great fun. And yeah, he is a proper club racer. He just absolutely enjoys it, and that's, you've got to take our hat off to him. It's good fun.
I like this game, actually, Peter, because you don't know which picture I'm going to put up next, do you? So I've got probably about 10 pictures to show, and you don't know who's going to be next. So let's play. I mean, half of them do have the name written underneath, but let's play Guess the Driver. Here we go. Who's this one? It has his name underneath.
Yeah, no, that's Carl Robinson, and yeah, he's back this year. He's doing Brands Hatch for the first time, actually. I think,
okay.
As is his father, Dennis. Yeah, and he's definitely one to watch in Class B. He has been, the champion, so it's to play for, and this year Class B is going to be really competitive. We've got some guys that have raced in the Owners Club. They're coming out to join us for some rounds. The one that Steve hasn't quite made it in time for Brands, but Steve McDermott, he's building a ZR 190 just to race with us, and that's going to be out. That's his 170 car, but he's built it because he can't race it in the Owners Club, but he can race it in the car club. And he obviously he came some rounds last year and spannering for others, but it's going to be great. But yeah, we've got several almost champions in the waiting, and have been class champions as well. And Ian Dowler's got a new car this year. That could be one to watch.
Yeah, that's from last year. That's his car from last year. Look.
Yeah, and Ian Bolton has unfinished business in Class B. He's won the class, but he hasn't got enough. And that's the thing this year. You would think, I think Class B will see the champion come from it. It's Class C is very competitive, but could be quite close and could change winner per event.
So they'll take points off each other, essentially, won't they?
Yeah. So, but you don't know. And the good thing last year, it goes down to the last race, and everybody gives it their all. And yeah, sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. I finished second one year, but at Snetterton, but I won the class, and that was because I was just consistently third, and the two guys in front of me took points off each other or didn't finish, but I was just second or third, and it just luck was on my side. Cheers, Matt.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. We know Craig is watching, so we couldn't ignore you, Craig. Here's a little picture of you in action. There is Mr. Baston, looking like he's going to be back out again with us this season. And we've got somebody very special coming back as well, Peter. Explain who this is.
Yeah. This is Lance Ellington, and he was originally drove a Rover Tomcat, one of the Daily Mirror sponsored cars. So he's renting the car, doing a arrive and drive, and it'd be good.
Doesn't it look good as well, by the way, Pete? Sorry to interrupt you there, but my word, doesn't it look absolutely crisp, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's one thing that we've done with the MG Cup. We have opened it up to MG Rovers, because there were a lot of the 216 GTIs, there were a lot of the Rover Tomcats, They were one make cars, all made to the same spec, and they've gone off and raced in other things. But if you've got a Tomcat turbo, it's a 2 litre turbo. Well, you'll be in the same class as somebody with a modern Golf, with an LTTT. You know, it's a very good. The T Series engine's good. It's reliable, but there are modern or cars made in the last 10 years that put out more power as a road car and considerably more. So if you're deciding on what car you want to race, I was around when those cars were new, so I'm and you have fond memories of them, and it's great to see that. I think at our best, we managed to get sort of 6 or 7 out one year at Silverstone, and we have a blanket invite at the Silverstone meeting that if any former drivers want to come and join us, we deliberately have an invitation class. So we're going to try and get some drivers that can't commit to a season or haven't raced for a couple of years, but they've got a car in a garage. Get it out, come and join us for Silverstone, and that's making a real go of it. And also we're going to obviously Snetterton at the end of the season. We're going to invite. There's an open invitation to Silverstone and Snetterton for former drivers to come back and join us and have some fun.
Fantastic. Now, talking of invitation class, and by the way, if you love, we've got to show this image as well, because
we've got I've got some news on that car as well, but I'll tell you.
You know which one I'm going to show. This is going to be a crowd pleaser over the course of the weekend. If you can't make it down to Brands, you've got to watch, because this car is going to be there. Look at this.
That's cracking, and I've been following the car on Instagram and stuff, and Alan, the owner of the car, is very open about it. It's his pride and joy, and he will do his hardest to avoid any contact with anybody, because getting parts for an MG Montego is hard enough. Getting parts for an estate, they've all rotted by now. But the interesting one with that car is when you open the bonnet and you actually look at the wheels on it, and if you look at the dashboard on it, and it's actually it's running on underpinnings of MG ZR170. So we've agreed he can go in the class. He's carrying a bit of excess weight and whatever, but it's a fabulous car, and you've got to be a little bit eccentric to be into MGs and Rovers. It's and long may that continue. But it's just good to see a car of that ilk, and it's a talking point. And I love the fact you could put a Volvo badge on it and dream.
I was going to say side profile is split, isn't it? It really is. Did you know, St. Peter, my first car was a Rover 214 SI. It was in Nightfire Red, 1994 reg. It was. It had two-tone Nightfire Red grey paneling, beige interior with fake walnut dash. I was
standard, wasn't it?
Honestly. All my mates, I was at college at the time, all my mates were driving Fiat Puntos, like 2002 Fiat Puntos and Ford Fiestas, and I rocked up in this 5-door family saloon. I was like,
I've had some rotters of cars, but I think my worst or most fun, I was at Bracknell College at the time, and I had
where? Sorry, Peter, where?
Bracknell College. So I grew up just down the road. So
Bracknell College.
Yeah.
I'm in Bracknell right now.
I know. I had a very old Renault which I bought while my Mini was being welded and resprayed, and they were the days you could get the Auto Trader, and it was under £500, and I bought a Renault 11, which was horrendous.
Oh yes,
but it was 150 quid. It just makes you laugh, but it's a lot of fun. But and lots of people that race with us have had the cars for some time or have an affinity for them, and yeah, you know, I do feel with some of the cars, it's almost worth keeping. And if you had a big enough garage to mothball, because you know, wouldn't you be sitting pretty if you had an MG Maestro Turbo now? And it's just you know, but yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, Martin Hodge just witted on he's working on the Tomcat.
Yeah,
So
you can see
yeah,
that there he is.
he's working on it, and yeah, it gets it sorted because Lance got to qualify it on Saturday.
Yes. Also, Ashley Woodward's been in touch again because Dean Brownlow's wanted to send us a message. His chat's not been working, but he says he's watching. He'd like to say hello. Looking forward to joining us at Silverstone's Class B ZS 180. Apparently his chat's not working. Yeah, Dean, can't wait to see you.
No, it'd be good. And you know, there's a rumor that a Scottish friend of ours who also had an MG ZS 180 will come out at Silverstone. But yeah, I'm sure Ashley and I will both give him a call and persuade him. But yeah, and that's a nice thing because we're getting more cars into Class B, and it almost becomes the race series. But you know, there's 6 of us out at Donington in Class C, so we've got to try and show a few of the cars our heels. But you know, if it rains, there's a good chance you might see a ZS at the front. I may not be driving it, but it's the inclement weather lends itself to our cars for sure. But
it will rain somewhere this season again. Probably Alton Park actually, because it usually does, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
One more car to show everybody before we do let you go. Now, as you can see, we've got a bit of a pink theme going on. We've got a pink jumper going on. Maybe Liam Wignall got the memo. Seems like he did, didn't he?
And the car is fabulous. He's built it in the off season. Him and the father. They're out testing it over the weekend, and they popped by and had a brew on the way back. And the car is great, and it does everything you want a 160 to do. But also, it's going to be a talking point because you know it's vivid pink, harness, and yeah, he's a great lad. And this is the difficulty is you get some younger drivers that are just you know fearless, and it's great. Joining us for the round, they normally race in the cockshoot, and that doesn't come to brands. So you know we make them welcome, but it's good to see a new 160 because there've been some and then they disappear, and lots of people change them to a 170 when in fact it's, if anyone asked me what car would I buy if I was starting again, I'd buy a TF 160 because it's got rid of the hydrogas. It's on, you know, coilovers the cheapest chips. It's got big brakes on it. It's mid-engined, and you can pick them up for not a lot of money. And or a ZR 160, you know, and it's lowering springs to make control, braided brake lines, and new filters, and you know even it's got to run the original air filter. It just makes for a cheap entry level car, and that's one thing that all race series have got to do. They to attract more people, you've got to make it vaguely affordable. You know, we've got some cars for sale on our website, and it's great to see a car sold, but to somebody that's doing track days, and we spend a lot of time talking to drivers at track days, and you know just explaining to them what racing is, and we need to keep more drivers getting interested in motorsport, because at the end of the day it's a fabulous hobby we've all got, and you know we don't get to play unless the marshals come out, so you've got to say thanks to all the marshals out there. But it's just for 5 weekends this year we can forget about all our troubles, all our strife, and just have an absolute laugh, and that's what we try and do in the Indy Cup. So you know it's we aim to get some good entertainment on track, and we're really keen on good driving standards, and that's important. We've got one make rules, and it's a good series, and I'm quite proud to be involved in it, and it's 35th year, as I said before, and we've got put on a good show. So your help, Ian. It's on we go.
Well, talking of that, Steve Tyler's got in contact as well. I just want to say hello. And they have a Class A ZR for sale. If anybody does want to get involved, you like what you've seen so far and think, do you know what, I need to check this out a little bit, then and fancy getting yourself out on track, there is a Class A ZR for sale. So do get in touch with BLR. A couple of other people as well. Dave Nixon, it seems like Ashley Woodward's a popular chat tonight, isn't he? Everybody seems to be messaging Ashley to get them to say hello on their behalf. Dave, hello. It'd be great to see you.
Mr. Nixon has informed me that he is going to register and he is going to come out, but it's lambing season, so he's busy on the farm at the moment. So he's going to be tuning into the streaming as well. But we've got some interesting cars lined up for Alton, and it'd be great. But and hopefully it's given people a bit of an insight. As I spend a lot of my time doing is chatting about the series and what it's about. So anyone wants to get in touch, contact us via the MG Cup, contact us via Facebook or Instagram, and we've got some would-be drivers coming down at the weekend, and it's great, and that's what we want to do. So it's keep people interested, keep people entertained, and also make some good friends.
Absolutely. So just a reminder, everybody, the action starts this weekend. It's the 1st and 2nd of April from Brands Hatch. Just a quick reminder for timings for this weekend. If you are wanting to watch the action, if you can't make it down to Brands, don't forget we are going to be live support now on YouTube. There's a link in the body of this broadcast. Wherever you're watching it, make sure you hit subscribe when you go through so you don't miss any of the action. Qualifying on Saturday morning is 10:25 a.m. Now, these times, they may change a little bit, won't they? But if you watch the stream, you won't miss any of it because we're usually on point with it. Race 1, actually, it's a busy Saturday, isn't it, Peter? You've got a race as well on Saturday. 2:35 lights out scheduled for that one. And then just one race on Sunday for the MG Cup. That is, at the minute, it's scheduled for 12:10. You can watch it all live. You can hear our behind-the-scenes paddock walk as well. So the drivers who have been commenting in, you'll see their faces as well. And I'm sure we'll have a little bit of a giggle with that. Just a reminder of the race dates for 2023 Brands Hatch, of course, as we just touched on, this coming weekend in Alton Park in May. Silverstone GP, 10th and 11th of June. That's going to be a big one. Cadwell Park, 30th of July. And the season rounds out at Snetterton, as it usually does, on the 23rd and 24th of September. Right, Peter. I better let you go because busy weekend coming up, of course, and I'm sure you've got a few admin bits and bobs to do. Go get the car ready, although I'm sure you're probably all ready with it, aren't you? Car's ready?
I'm very fortunate. A friend of mine's looking after it, so it's all ready. I'm looking forward to turning up and let's see what this weekend brings. I'm just thanks to everybody in the cup, especially last year. I did use it as a crutch to get myself better and attempt things, and it was really rewarding coming down to watch it when I wasn't competing, and I'll give it a good go this year, and it's nice my wife and the kids are coming down on Saturday and Sunday, and they can see how badly I do.
Peter, it doesn't matter. It's just a treat to have you back. It's a treat to have you back on track. And of course, it's a treat to have the Cherished MG Cup back for 2023. If you like what you've seen and do want to find out more about the MG Cup, there's a link in the body of this broadcast. It will take you straight through to the MG Cup website. We will see you Saturday morning for qualifying live. Wherever you're watching this broadcast now, you'll be able to watch qualifying both races and, of course, our behind the scenes paddock walk. Peter, enjoy the next couple of days. I will definitely see you on Saturday, and everybody watching, don't forget, get involved, and we'll see you on Saturday as well. Thanks for watching.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.